The Eskom Pension and Provident Fund is the second largest pension fund in South Africa. We manage assets of above 100 billion rand on behalf of our members and pensioners. Our main aim is to ensure that our pensioners can retire in comfort and with dignity, to ensure that when they are no longer able to work for an income, that the pension fund provides for them. I'm supported by an executive team which consists of highly skilled professionals who look after the investments of the fund. So we have a chief investment officer who's responsible for the department that manages investments. We have a head of retirement fund operations, which is the department responsible for benefit administration. We also have a finance department, which is critical to our operations. In addition to that, we're supported by a human resources function as well as a risk and compliance function, which is very important in the pension fund industry. The fund has a company secretary who performs the function of supporting the board as well as overseeing the governance and related aspects of the pension fund. The fund engages with its members through various means. We have more than 80,000 members, including active members who are currently employed, as well as pensioners. We engage with our members through our call center. We also engage through regular newsletters that we send out to members. And from time to time, we have member and pensioner functions in specific regions. And at those events, the members and pensioners of the fund are able to reach out to us. It's important for our members and pensioners to know that communication is a two-way dialogue. And so in as much as the fund communicates with them, we equally welcome the opportunity for them to reach out to us. In addition, we will be introducing a direct email to the chief executive of the fund so that I can personally attend to members' queries. There are a number of mechanisms through which the fund ensures the safety of the benefits to the members. The first is that the fund is regulated by the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, the FSCA, under the Pension Funds Act of 1956. The EPPF is governed by a 14-member Board of Trustees. The Board of Trustees is comprised of member-elected representatives, employer-appointed representatives, as well as pensioner representatives. It's important that the board represents all members and pensioners of the fund. Eskom and EPPF are separate legal entities. Eskom is responsible for electricity generation, transmission, and distribution. The EPPF was established to look after the pension benefits of employees of Eskom. So often the two are conflated, but they are separate legal entities. The EPPF operates independently. It has its own management and governance structures and operates from premises in Bryanston, Johannesburg. Eskom Holdings SOC has separate management and governance structures from the EPPF. The finances of the two entities are also managed separately. As such, the financial challenges that are faced by Eskom currently have no impact on the pension fund. The investment strategy of the fund has no direct link or bearing to the financial challenges at Eskom. The fund is operated as an asset manager insofar as the management of its investments is concerned. As a defined benefit pension fund, the most important indicator of the fund's financial health is the funding ratio. The funding ratio is simply a measure that works out the assets of the fund in relation to its liabilities. For as long as the fund has more assets than liabilities, a funding ratio of 100% and above is maintained. At our last valuation, the EPPF's funding ratio was established at 115%. The actuarial valuation is conducted independently by a qualified actuarial valuator, and as such, we're confident that our assets are able to match and even exceed the liabilities of the fund. We have planned this project to minimize all disruptions to members and pensioners. We would like to reassure our pensioners that pensions will be paid on time. We also want to inform our members that for claims that have already been submitted, we will endeavor to prioritize them and to keep contact continuously with the affected members. In all of this, we seek to ensure that the transition goes seamlessly and has minimal impact on our members and pensioners. In the interest of good governance, we set fixed-term contracts with our service providers. The current service provider's contract comes to an end at the end of April 2020. That is why the change is happening primarily. But in addition to that, it was an opportunity for us to introduce improvements that will improve efficiency, that will improve turnaround times, and the general level of service experienced by our members and pensioners. The coronavirus, or COVID-19, is a pandemic like we have not seen before in our lifetimes. The impact it has had on the stock markets has been catastrophic, and the fund, as a long-term investor, has not been spared the brunt of the impact either. So we have seen local and international markets crashing. However, we are comforted by the fact that we hold a diversified portfolio of assets. We maintain, though, that we are a long-term investor, and it's very important to keep that perspective so that we don't sell in times of panic. In fact, in times of panic, that's when we need to remain the most rational and make sure that we are preserving value for our members and pensioners. As a fund, cost containment is one of our priorities. We seek to minimize costs as far as possible. However, one has to appreciate that the EPPF both administers its own benefit processing and manages investments. And both of these processes require skilled professionals. Both of these processes require investment systems and require the latest and cutting edge in technology. As a result, in as much as we seek to contain costs, we want to remain competitive with the best in the market, and therefore we cannot afford to underinvest in our resources. So the subject of costs has to be approached with that balance in mind. In the industry, we use a measure called the total expense ratio, which takes the total costs of administering and investing a pension fund, and we divide that by that fund's assets under management. In the last financial year, ending 30 June 2019, the total expense ratio incurred by the EPPF, that's the total cost of administering a fund and managing investments, divided by the assets under management, the total expense ratio of the EPPF was 0.54%, which compares very favorably if we take the same measure for the industry. Because for the industry, that ratio is 0.78% or 78 basis points. This positions the EPPF as one of the lowest cost funds in the market. I think it's important to stress that I maintain an open door policy. In my time since I've been the principal officer and chief executive of the pension fund, I've taken time to engage with members and with pensioners at every opportunity possible, because the members really are the reason for our existence as a fund, and it's my key motivation as well as to why I keep doing what I do with the pension fund. So I want to emphasize that all communication channels are open, and we're very willing to engage with members. We respond to members' queries as swiftly as possible and as amicably as possible. So we urge our members, in fact, to engage with us and to raise any concerns that they may have. At a time like this, it's a time of great uncertainty, and it's very important that our members know that we are on their side. In fact, we are also members of the EPPF as staff of the EPPF, and so our interests are aligned, and we are open to communicating with them and engaging with them. I want our members to know that to us, invested in our members is not just a tagline. It is our commitment to serve, and it underpins everything that we do as the EPPF.